And if you take a look, at our honorees on Anthony Mineta from the Joseph Petrosino Association, and we adopted this other guy, Todd Shapiro. He's got a vowel at the end of the name. He said he's Italian, so we said okay. We're also very fortunate to have for the Italian American Museum, New York State Senator Joe Adabo. And also Assemblyman Michael Benedetto. You'll be hearing more about them today as well. Lastly, we have also from the New York State Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. We also have Tom Lupo and Ernest Magliato. So those are our honorees right now. So we do want to go into. I do want to ask a little indulgence and bring up a close friend and liaison in uniform. Outside the uniform, our liaison is Peggy Petrosino. She owns these, she owns that. I want to thank Peggy for all the work that she's doing as well. Will all board members please stand for the Lieutenant Joseph Petrosino Association in America? Please stand. Please stand. With all our delegations from the Palermo, the Joe Petrosino Padula, and the Joe Petrosino from Sicilia, please stand. Great. So, I just want to also bring up a good friend of ours who's been to Italy with us, and he's championing the causes. I have to tell you, I never realized wearing a uniform in Italy, I had to get one of those. He was like, he's a rock star. But he is a rock star there and here, and he represents also for us 35,000 men and women in law enforcement. I want to bring up a good friend, Chief Joe Galata. Joe, would you come up for a few minutes?
Hello, Joe.
I'll get a selfie with you.
This is, once again, we gather here. What a great honor. That's all I can say. Having traveled to Italy and spent some time, traveling in the footsteps of Joe Petrosino and being a historian of the police department, what he did for the police department and the sacrifice he gave, and he's the only NYPD officer to lose his life overseas in the service of the NYPD, not in the service of the military. So it's a special honor to be here, and for everyone in this room, it's even more important. I got to become friends with everyone here. I traveled a lot of people in this room, and I got a better understanding of what it means to be friends. And when I mean friends, you have a group from Sicily that is so important and follows. We have the group from Padula with Nino here. These are people that I'll consider friends for the rest of my life, and they carry on the honor of the NYPD. The honor to never forget. I never forget Joe Petrosino. Recently, we were told that the artifacts in the museum, NYPD Museum, that all the Petrosino artifacts were washed away during Sandy. If Lieutenant Carolyn Minowitz can stand up over there, she championed a lot of what we did. Finally, we tracked down, I think, a lot of it. I don't know what percentage it was, but it was an awful lot to be able to get it, find it, and put it back to its rightful owners, so that it could be placed in a place of honor where it belongs and not in a warehouse. So that was an honor to be able to do. She was a very big part of it. Lastly, I'm proud to be an Italian American. I'm very proud to be here today. And the fact us as Americans can come here today and gather and celebrate our heritage is tremendous. And I want to thank everyone here for supporting the Petrosino Association, but more importantly, supporting the NYPD and what we do every day. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask Biagio to join us up here, representing the New York State Order Sons and Daughters of Italy, America. We're going to ask them to say a few words before we give out these prestigious awards. New York State Sons and Daughters of Italy in America is obviously the oldest Italian American organization. Just a little sidebar. about 25 years ago, I was working with John Fratto, and on a local campaign, a district judge in the Bronx who was running for re-election. And he said, "Bob, would you help us?" I said, "He's Italian, he's got a pure heart, he's willing to help the Italian people, and he's a positive role model for us, absolutely." So we met in my office, and John asked the question which really started it. "Bob, I don't understand the Sons of Italy. How come there's no Sons of Italy in Little Italy?" So I said, "You know, John, that's a great question." So we started with the Petrosino Association, and that's how we started in Little Italy, back to where it all started in 1909. But we want to say there's a reason for it, and then they grew. The Sons of Italy grew out of that in Manhattan. Again, I'll be fact-checked and changed, but it's okay. My wife does it mostly to me. But again, it's close up. But I want to say thank you so very much to the New York State Order Sons of Daughters of Italy, and I just want to introduce the others.
Thank you, Bob. It's quite an honor to be here today, especially representing the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. I want to thank Bob Fonte and Joe Schelzer for bringing this event together. This is the first year that we've done this as a cumulative group together. We're going to hopefully do this again in the future and continue as a group that come together. We have the same common values, same common goals, and we will continue to fight for the negative stereotypic communications that we get from other people and how they look at us as Italian Americans. So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for having us, inviting us to be a part of this event today. And we're going to march today. We march today for our heritage and our culture, but just remember, we would not be here without those people that sacrificed to come here back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. Those were our ancestors that came here. They built a life for themselves. They built a life for their future generations, and we have to thank them for where we are today. So today we march not only for Italian heritage and for Columbus, but also for our ancestors that brought their traditions and cultures here to America for us. Not to belabor everything, but today I also want to introduce our national president of the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy, Mike Polo. Please, Mike, would you please stand? Michael was just elected to the national presidency in August. He hit the road running, and he does a lot. He manages 19 Grand Lodges and sporting lodges throughout the country, and we are going to go through and continue this fight, not only in New York, but we also continue this fight throughout the nation. Sitting next to him is our past national president, Paul Polo, who, another family member, who is also instrumental in bringing us together with other organizations back in the early 90s. I'd like to also recognize our past national president, Jody Trapani, and our past national president, the second woman president of the national organization, Nancy DiFiore Quinn, and also a very important gentleman that also continues to fight bias and bigotry. We have an arm of the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy. It's called the Commission for Social Justice. On the national level, we have Robert Ferrito, who is our national chairman for the Commission for Social Justice. Today, again, like I said, we're going to continue to fight for positivity for Americans. Remember, we built this country. Doctors, lawyers, architects, painters, bricklayers. We are the basis of what we are here today. We need recognition, we need respect for people. I preach respect. And respect not only for others, but respect for ourselves. We sometimes do not respect ourselves. And this is where we start with our own values, our own family ethics, right where we are here today. So we have to respect each other first. And I thank you for having me today. I'm also going to introduce our honorees as soon as we get to that part of the program. You want to do it now?
We can start that now. Okay.
So today we have two honorees for the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy. The first is our National First Vice President, Thomas Lupo. Tom, can you please come up here? Thank you very much.
After you. You know, that's what happens, you get two big guys trying to get through this. Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
Make
so
me
hold
look
on,
thin.
wait, Ken, hold
Come
on
on,
a
Joe,
second.
we got hand.
Make me look thin, please.
On behalf, listen, on the behalf of the Lieutenant Joseph Petrosino Association in America, Tom, we have a hat with your name on it. I had to double check this because Tom, T-H-O-M. So I thought they left the A-S off, but no, we checked it out though. But we wanted to say thank you to NYPD and Chief Collada for having these donated to us. So we hope you wear this with pride
I will.
as well.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. Nancy. Yeah. And also we have one for Biagio.
Oh, my
Wanna let you know. Last minute, I have to tell you, they were killing me, and I said,
There you go. How do I look? I need a badge.
you're in the 113th. Get to Queens right now.
I haven't seen it.
I promise I'll be brief. Well, let me begin by saying every man and woman that takes the oath to protect us in our community deserves our deepest appreciation. Lieutenant Petrosino did it for the Italian community at a time when it was very important in the Little Italy community. My maternal roots are in Little Italy. I think either my grandparents or at least two of their siblings were in that apartment for at least 100 years. I closed the apartment out when my uncle and my godfather, my Uncle Tony, passed away. But my family roots are in Italy, and it'll always be a special area for me. And what Petrosino did for the Italian community resonates with us because we continue to support the efforts of our forefathers. Our organization is about preserving our history and culture, and Lieutenant Petrosino is a big part of that. Thank you for your attention.
We'll catch up.
We'll get caught up on that. All right, our next honoree is going to be Ernest Magliato. Ernest is our New York State Recording Secretary. Some of you might know Ernest from the Italian feast, San Gennaro feast. He is one of the operators and owners of Pips Pit. So if anybody goes to the feast on San Gennaro, you'll see Ernest with his sausage and peppers, the best on Mulberry Street. The best. Right. Ernest has done a lot for the organization. He has continued to be an intricate part of continuing our culture and our heritage by promoting a positive image for Italian Americans. And Ernest, we thank you for everything you do, and today we honor you also for all your services to the Order Sons of God of Italy and the Italian community. Thank you, Ernest. Don't mess up your hair. I should talk, right? Hold on a second. Hold on.
Couple words. No, first of all, good morning, and thank you all for being here. I'd like to congratulate my co-honorees, and also thank the NYPD. You know, I born and raised in Little Italy, and if you came from the outskirts of Little Italy, the streets weren't that great when I was growing up. But we always had the officers of the 5th Precinct there. So thank you, NYPD, again. To my good friend in the back over there, Anthony La Carraza, thank you for being here. To our members of the Petrosino Lodge in Little Italy, which I'm a past president, proud past president of. Thank you for being here. And to my family, my mom, Ursula, my stepfather, Michael, and my wife, Anna. Thank you guys. Love you.
And take a couple things out of order.
But I do want to make a recognition because there's a lot that we've done over the 20 years we've been in existence. Several years ago, there was a book that came out in 2017-18 called The Black Hand. Told the story of Lieutenant Joseph Petrosino. An outstanding book. And we wanted to do a launch of this book, and we needed a place to do it. And Dr. Joe Shelson said, well, why don't we do it in Little Italy? And I said, well, that's great, we'll do it there. I said, but I can't seem to attract people that would come. And I need to bring in star power. So I made one phone call, and the person only doesn't need a last name. His name is Todd. Todd Shapiro. Todd, stand up. I never saw 9 news trucks outside a small museum. And he came to me and said, what do you think? I said, Todd, you need parking permits. But thank you so very much, Todd, for your work on that. It was so important that we were able to get that, to tell that story, as Ernie had said earlier. So, with that being said, I want to bring up Jim Lisa to give the awards, present the awards to our honorees. I want Peggy and my board to join us up here, if you don't mind. Please, board members, please join us up here. Jimmy, come on up.
First, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming this morning, and I hope you enjoyed the breakfast. This is the first one out of the box after COVID, and there'll be many more. I believe that the Petrosino Association has perpetuated what Speaker Valone had did years ago, and we're continuing his legacy by putting this breakfast together before the parade for everybody that is unable to get to other places. So thank you all for coming. Now let's get to the program. The Lieutenant Detective Joseph Petrosino Association's honorees this year is Todd Shapiro and Anthony Mineta. Todd, would you please come up? You don't take pictures?
Come on up here. Board members, come on up, please. Honorary board members?
Who's that?
Yes, please all give
Todd, say a few words.
First, I would like to thank the Jewish Temple in Brooklyn. No, I'm just joking. Just want to say a few words. I grew up in a small town in Long Island in a very, very Italian-American neighborhood. I think I was the only Jewish person on the block. And I think I spent most of my life go around Italian-Americans, and you look at America, and everyone's together, whether you're Italian-American, whether you're Greek-American, or everyone. You all come together, but what the Petrosino Foundation does every day, enriching the lives and remembering the spirit of a courageous NYPD lieutenant detective who gave their life to really protect our nation. And every day you got to look at that and say what the men do every day for the NYPD and go out there and risk their lives to really protect us. And you look on the street and you look at the crime and you look what's going on, and the police deserve a lot more. They deserve a lot more out there. They deserve the respect. And people like Petrosino and the people out there every day, God, let's give a round of applause for the NYPD. I want to thank Bob Fonte, probably one of the greatest human beings I know in the world. I met Bob a long, long time ago. We've been all over the world together. And then he took me, he said, come on, we'll go, Petrosino had a trip to Italy. It was one of probably the most amazing trips I've ever been on in my life. Not only did we see some of the greatest places, and, there is in history that goes back to Italy for centuries, but I got to be blessed by the Pope. How many people in life get blessed, have a private audience to be blessed by the Pope? It was probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And I thank you, Bob, for all you do, and Peggy and the board and everything, because the Petrosino Foundation is not a good board. It's a great board. And it's people that really, they care. And they don't do this once a year. They do this 365 days a year. They don't stop trying to promote Italian-American causes and things from the museum to all the different great things from the Sons of Italy. They don't stop. They're a machine. And I thank you for the great work you all do. Let's hear a round of applause. I also want to bring up a great Italian-American named John Casmatis.
Todd, it's your turn to...
No. We would like to honor you for all the great work you've done. And as John will explain, I think Greece started off as Italy or somehow. I don't know how they got confused, but he'll explain that a little more. But anyway, John Casmatis is a great man. He spends his life helping people. The man is, if you were going to put someone in sainthood, John Casmatis is a saint. And I want to thank my brother, John Casmatis. A great honor.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you all. I've been part of the Italian community for a long time. Me and Bill Fugazzi, we ran, Bill Fugazzi, we ran the Ellis Allen Foundation together. Bill was chairman, I was vice chairman, and we had many, many, many good times together. And, we had 100 honorees and 92 of them were Italian. I couldn't figure it out. But it was wonderful. And I'm a member of the Columbus Club. I'm 28% Italian because the island I was born on was part of Italy. So when I was conceived in Italy. Hey. When I was born, I was born in Greek. But what are you going to do? It was, but thank you for being here. And I love you all. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Board members, join me up here. Sam, please join us. We want to...
I'd like to present this.
Medallion.
I thought it was Charlie Chaplin.
Also the challenge coin, the Petrosino challenge coin.
Thank you.
110, and also this is also his badge. We wear proudly on our lapel, John. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you, guys.
And by the way, John owns WABC Radio.
And we're broadcasting the parade live on WABC radio today.
The whole parade, I want to let you know.
The Senator D'Amato will be there. He works with WABC now. Rudy Giuliani will be there. Andrew Giuliani will be there. They work with WABC. Our trolley for WABC is right here, right outside. Joe Piscopo works with WABC. So we have a lot of Italians. And one of our good friends, a great Italian, member of Columbus, Richard Grace, and his wife Barbara. I miss them. They died about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. You know something? I miss him a great deal. I miss Bill Fugazzi a great deal. And it was Roy Fugazzi's birthday yesterday. I called him and wished him a happy birthday. Well, in memory, may their memory be eternal. Thank you so much.
next honoree, once we get over these photos. Next honoree is Anthony Minetta. Anthony is approximately 9. He's a dear friend of the Petrosino Association, the Italian American Action Committee. In fact, he does work for us constantly. He's involved with working with the Italian community, as well as being the councilman in Long Island, where he wears 2 hats, but he handles everything very well. Anthony, you should come up and say what?
Actually, I think a little, only because I have to go back a little bit. So I met Anthony over 20 some odd years ago. A lot of history in this room. And it's not your birthright. It's not being born an Italian American. It's the dash that comes after that, what you do with it. And we hold that sacred to us. We hold that sacred to us. Anthony is not only a great businessman and a good friend, involved in the political circles, giving us guidance on the state side and on the national side, but he's also real estate. He has real estate investments, and I want to say thank you so much to my good friend Anthony Minetta. Anthony.
Bob, thank you so much. Thanks. What an incredible event today, and to the Petrosino Association, the sons and daughters of Italy. I'm a proud member of the Committee Lodge in Deer Park, so thank you for all the hard work that you do, and the Italian American Museum. It's really important to me that we continue to promote our Italian culture, our shared culture. So as soon as I got elected to the Town of Babylon Council, which has a tremendous amount, the largest ethnic population in the Town of Babylon, of over 200,000 residents is Italian Americans, I made a resolution that was supported by the town board to promote and proclaim October Italian American Heritage Month, and we do that every single year. And if you pass Town Hall today, you'll see at night the cupola is lit up in the Italian American flag color, so we're very proud of that. And I encourage all elected officials, whether you sit on the city council, town council, or county legislature, that you always, each and every year, proclaim the month of October Italian Heritage Month, because we always want to put that forward, always want to make sure that the public knows about all of our collective accomplishments and everything that Italian Americans contribute to our society. And in the back there, I just want to recognize and thank my wife Emily and daughter Natalie. Down the age of the room, so thank you, Natalie, for that. And on October 14th, if you're on Long Island, the Town of Babylon, we're hosting our Italian Food Festival, the first one on Long Island like that our municipality is sponsoring. And I know we said Pips Pit will be there. So if you want that sausage and peppers, make sure you come to our Italian Food Festival. So thank you very much for having me today, and enjoy the parade.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'll flip it around. So, Emily said it's okay.
Our last tale of the program, we're going to start in a second, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring back our state president, the New York State Order Sons and Daughters of Italy Americans. Back up just to say a few words on an introduction. Biagio?
Thank you again, Bob. So again, today was a very accomplishment day for us, honoring these honorees to show them our respect for what they've done in the community, what they continue to do for the community. Remember, what we take away from here today is that we are Italian Americans. We need to hold our heads high. We are proud of what we do and who we are. Never let anybody bring us down. We will be a solid community. We'll be a solid organization. We all come together as groups. We might have different ideas of how to get to that point, but we all have the same mission statement, and we all want to go for the same goal. So we want to continue being together, and please, never let anybody show you that you are not an important person in this world. At this time, I want to bring to the podium our national Sons and Daughters of Italy President, Michael Polo. Michael is from Connecticut. Mike, come on up, please, and give us a couple words.
Thank you very much. So Michael Polo from the neighboring state of Connecticut, just elected the National Sons and Daughters of Italy president, and so honored to be the president. I will share with you that from the Columbus Foundation dinner on Saturday night till today, spending time in New York is one of my favorite things to do. You have to realize how amazing this state is in regard to Italian American and being proud of our heritage. Now that being said, there are so many organizations and so many people that I'm meeting, it'll take me a little while to get all their names correct, but I can't thank you enough for all that you do for the state of New York, but more importantly for the nation, to bring the truths of what Columbus really stood for and what Columbus really did, and keeping up the heritage and the pride of our Italian heritage. So thank you very much, and enjoy the day.
Thank you. I'm all set, yes. Go once.
Okay, wow. That was special to me because I met Michael's dad back in 1994 at an event, and we just closed the loop on that story, and we're so grateful for that. But thank you for your service, and not only that, passing it down to your son, who represents us so well. National. Thank you so very much. We're very fortunate to have a number of dignitaries join us. And you don't necessarily have to be an Italian American to enjoy and celebrate our heritage and our culture. But we certainly have a number of you in the room today. I do want to recognize also the men and women that are on the New York State Italian American Political Action Committee. It's a tail wagging the dog at times. And I want to say thank you to recognize our two new board members, one of which is here. He's also a former assemblyman. I worked with him many years ago, and I'm continuing to work with him as well, is the Honorable Mike LaPetri. Mike, just come up, say a couple words. You're smart about the sneakers, I want to let you know. Come on, man.
Thanks, Bob.
Buongiorno, my name is Michael Petri, former assemblyman. Very proud to be here, part of the Italian American Political Action Committee. We're here to instill all our values for our community, for our heritage, for our love for being Italian. I think it's very important in this day and age, while there are those communities that wish to forget us, we are here. They're going to be standing strong, firm, and powerful day in and day out, united together. And I look forward to doing that journey with each and every one of you. God bless you. Thank you.
All right. This next individual, I hope he didn't leave the room. He's got more titles than all of us combined. And he's got a tremendous heart. And he casts a long shadow. The person I want to introduce is Dr. Bobby Pelotti. Bobby's not picking up, but he'll go to his voicemail. Bobby is the international chairman. Oh, well, yeah, I'm introducing you right now. You're on. Oh, wow.
Right now, just leave the message and I call you back.
That's a first for me. I want to let you know. This actually backfired. So I want you to just say hello, Bobby, in a second. Ready? Bobby, we have a message for you.
Hello, Bobby!
Bobby, I announced you want to thank you so much, International Chairman, Friends of Good Health, He's also former ambassador to the United Nations, representing Grenada, and also chairman of the Human Rights Commission in Nassau County. So grateful to have Bobby actually on the phone with us. So, with that being said, I do want to dovetail into our third leg, our third partnership. As you know, this is our first inaugural breakfast. But we don't get here because of just a car. We get here because of hard work and the walk that we do in life, and following also what our ancestors have done. I do want to bring up and introduce a good friend of mine I met, goodness, I'll just say 30 plus years ago, because I do have a lot of gray hair, and he has a little less hair. So with that being said, Dr. Joe Shelsa has been a mentor. He's been fighting the fight for the last 40 years, decades on perpetuating a positive image and remembering our history and the image. As Peggy mentioned earlier, or Chief Galati said, we're going to have items in the museum for Joe Petrosino. Joe is also on an honorary board of our Lieutenant Petrosino Association, and also the New York State Italian American Pact. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Joseph Shelsa.
Someone welcome just walked in. If you would like to just stand with us. All right, first of all, I just want to say I know the program is long, and I apologize for that, but there are so many people here that have done so much work for the Italian American community and who have stepped up to the plate every single time so that I've asked for them to do that. And when I say I've asked for the museum. And first of all, the Sons of Italy were the first ones to stand up with a grant from one of the organizations. And I want to acknowledge that right now. And Bob Ferrito, where are you, Bobby? Yeah, Bobby was probably inspired for a $100,000 grant for the museum, which I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It kicked off a great start, and we were able to get going. We've needed an Italian-American museum in New York for a long time. And I did the exhibition at the New York Historical Society. You know, in 1999, when I was dean of the Philander Institute, I realized that the best way to tell our story is to tell it ourselves. Not to have somebody else tell us, and tell it their way. I'm not that we're going to tell anything wrong, but we need to make sure that all the highlights, all the wonders, all the spectacular things that we've done in this country, from Columbus to today, will be heralded. And they will be heralded in the museum, and that's exactly what we want to do. We have an exhibition certainly on Petrosino, but we also have one on Frank Serpico. So, you know, another great policeman who really was exemplary in terms of fighting corruption in New York City. So we want to tell that whole story. And there are some individuals, too many of you in this room, for me to acknowledge everybody. But I want to say, first of all, two of the hardest working people in the Italian-American community. I don't know how he does it. I get phone calls in Texas from 4 o'clock in the morning with Bob Fonte, you know? And Bob never stops, as you know. And, you know, and you just got to give him his head. That's one of the reasons why, you know, I support everything that he does and everything that Jimmy and Lisa does, because the two of them are dynamic. They're dynamic. You know, John Cassimatidis was here before. I think he left now. But he mentioned Richard Grace and Bill Fugazi. Well, I was vice president of that organization. And they are following in the footsteps of Bill Fugazi and Richard Grace in terms of what they're doing. They're a real coalition. They really have put you all together. So can you give them a please round of applause? Jimmy's always in the background. Always came up front. That's Jimmy. But I have the privilege and honor today of honoring two individuals that have really stepped up to the plate. I want to point out to you that the Italian American Museum is in the heart of New York City's Italian American community on the corner of Grand and Mulberry Street. And neither one of these legislators has 1 ounce of constituency except by heritage in that area. And they stepped up to the plate to make major contributions. Mike was first, Mike Benedetto, or Senator Benedetto, and Senator Dabo came in. But I gotta say also, The non-Italian who's standing next to me, in the city, who isn't being honored today, but I'm going to mention him, Senator Wellborn, Assemblyman Wellborn, was the first when he was chair of the finance committee of the city council. So we have friends that all over who understand what heritage is all about. And I want to congratulate you and I want to thank you. But I also want to acknowledge the contribution. Assemblyman Benedetto, I'd like to do first. All right, Mike, would you come up? Assemblyman Benedetto was, after the city council, Assemblyman Benedetto was the first to step in. Not just once, but 5 times with grants from the New York State Assembly. Every time I asked, he made it happen, and that's not an easy thing to do. The sum total of what he has gotten for the museum is in excess of $500,000. Would you give him a round of applause? The museum will be open, I promise you. But if you go to the website, you'll see there's so much construction, so much detail. I got my son involved, he's an architect, and you know what happens when you get your kid involved, and he was like, want to do this, want to do that, and the other thing. It'll happen, it'll probably happen in April, and you'll all be invited. But it's because of the continual belief in what we do, that people like this, that make it happen. So, Mike, I don't know what else to say about you, except thank you. And he was the Grand Marshal, by the way, of the Bronx Columbus Day Parade, the second largest parade in New York City. So, yesterday. So, Mike, take the thing. This is my pleasure to make this to you. For your dedication and support to the men and women who have dedicated themselves to the mission of law enforcement and to the enrichment of the Italian-American values from all 3 organizations. Right? So please say a few words.
Joe, I thank you very much. I thank you for this. This is, I never looked for this. I'm not a strong swimmer, okay? Never have been, okay? However, at these times when the waters of today and the people today are trying to swim and knock us over, okay, and say terrible things about Columbus, okay? It's important that we maintain our culture and celebrate where we've come from. And Joe, the museum, and everything that you have done over the years, and so many years that we've known each other, you have maintained the ability to continue on and make this a reality, this museum. And I just love this museum and its placement. I'll do everything to preserve this culture and what we stand for and what we have done and will continue to do. I thank you all.
Bravo. That's you, okay?
Thank you very much.
Certainly never least. The name that most people in this room probably know, because it's a name that's been around in Italian-American circles and in government for a long time. Starting with his father, who was a congressman, maybe someday Joe, I don't know, we'll see. Senator Joseph Petrosino from Howard Beach, Queens, and Rockland. About 3 years ago, I was involved in the Italian Day celebration that they have every year. And I just walked up to Joe Joe, and he says, what do you need? What do I need? I said, I need money. I said, this is a big project. I said, this is gonna cost a lot of money. And it's actually, so you know, it's about $7.5 million. They raised private money too. And it's paid for. So, but I need. It's paid for. And that's probably, I learned a long time ago. You gotta own the house. You know, I mean, like an old Italian, you keep the house. And you wanna make sure that the house is yours. So that the next generation, so that the next generation has some place to come to. That's what I wanted to ensure. And so I said to Joe, I need some money. He said, what do you need? I said, I need $1 million. He says to me, okay, I'll write it down. Okay, you'll get it. Well, 2 years later, that's the way it always works. It doesn't happen overnight. And I've been around, as you know, from the hair and the beard for a long time, so I'm used to that. I know how it works. And he didn't forget. We got the $1 million, you know, and that's what's, because of that money, his money, and I gotta say one other person who's not here, which you'll see later, Governor Hope, also put $1 million as well. So between these 3 elected people, legislators, for this particular construction, well, I know Brooklyn's here too, but that wasn't for the construction, that was for the exhibits, all right? So that was for the, I'll give you the plug. All right, he helped also, you know. But I have to say, Joe, you're a man of your honor, you're a man of your word, and if you're not, and I gotta have you at the opening, all of you at the opening of the museum. So thank you very much. Please come over and get your award. All right, this is to New York State Senator Joseph Petrosino for your dedication and support to the men and women who have dedicated themselves to the mission of law enforcement and to the enrichment of the Italian-American values. Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator Dalman.
Thank you.
Thanks to
Buongiorno, everyone. An honor, and I want to thank the Petrosino Association and the family. I want to thank the Italian American Museum, who do a great job, always, and the Sons and Daughters of Italy. Thank you so much. Truly an honor, and I also want to thank 2 words that they don't normally hear enough, NYPD. Thank you. Thank you. I am proud to have with me today my Chief of Staff, Raimondo Graziano, a fine Irish, no, fine Italian American, my Chief of Staff, Raimondo Graziano. Another Queens, the Queens County Chair of the Republican Party, Tony Nunziata. Tony, thank you. You know, most legislators face is something very troublesome. Outside of these walls, there are those who want to change history. They want to erase history. They want to rewrite history. But then you have some other legislators, good people that I work with, that will fight till forever that today and always will be Columbus Day. Bravo! God bless you all, and happy Columbus Day.
Yeah, can you get it? Come on, come on. Excuse me. I have one seat here on the other now, so we're getting I know we're going to make this into a big picture because I'm going to invite all the sons of the 3/4 of the room up in here, Robert. You'll be hearing more about Robert next year from us. Just want to let you know. More about John in a couple of days.
We're good, Bob.
Okay. Yeah, here you go. Yeah. That was a moment like the Academy Awards and the mic was on. Hope you didn't hear that. You heard from Joe Shelsa. You heard about David Weprin, and also I want to give David a couple words. David's been working with these, whether it's been City Hall, Albany, or back to the city. David, please come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Bob. I'm an honorary Italian American. If you couldn't tell by my last name, I am not Italian American, although I am a very proud supporter of Columbus Day and the history of Columbus Day and the history of the Italian American contribution. I was actually one of the original people in the city council, as Joe mentioned, that supported the museum, that saw the need. But I'm particularly honored to be here today, especially since you're honoring two of my colleagues in the legislature who represent the finest, not only in Italian American, but in human beings. My good friend Mike Benedetto, who heads the Education Committee and works very closely with me on so many issues, is an outstanding legislator and leader and a proud Italian American. And my colleague overlapping with my district, Senator Joe Adamo, served with me in the City Council for 8 years, was also involved in forming the museum, and is really an outstanding leader, not only in Queens, but in our state as well. So I can't think of two finer Italian Americans and two finer human beings to honor, and I'm just proud to be here celebrating Columbus Day with all of you.
Thank you so much, David. I do want to do some housekeeping and also just mention a couple of people that just walked in. Mass just let out, and the parade is going to be starting at 11:30. We refer this not just as a joint breakfast, but I also refer it as the last bathroom break before you march. Because I don't go beyond the bathroom without going into it at this age, right? So I do want to mention a couple of people that are also here to join us, not in any particular order, but our state controller is also being honored. Our state controller is also being honored, and he's trying to make his way over here to the breakfast. But we are fortunate to have another individual, Joe Galante, to come up to say a few words. Joe.
Good morning. Thank you so much, and it's an honor to be here on behalf of Controller DiNapoli, and as Bob said, he's hopefully going to make his way over. It's a busy morning as an honoree. They have been doing a lot of things, but happy Columbus Day to everyone. Congratulations to all the honorees here today. All well-deserved honors, and congratulations, Bob, for always coordinating such a great event each Columbus Day. Thank you.
I'd be remiss if I didn't allow, actually no, they honor us. Two individuals that, one I'll take credit for, at least a little bit. The other one, go back a number of years. But we have the dynamic duo. We have a dynamic duo in the state and the national side from the Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. from Commission for Social Justice. These two, I thought I was relentless. They will never, ever, ever give up. Robert Perito, National President, National of CSJ, and John Prada, CSJ President, please join us to say a few words. John is also on Thursday, if you don't like to know. I also want to recognize Tony Laccarazzi. Where are you, Tony? He's not here, okay.
Happy Columbus Day, everybody. We're going to keep on saying that. Happy Columbus Day, in spite of those that want to erase our heritage, which we're not going to allow. We're going to continue to fight until we get all these people to understand that we're not just anybody you can push around any longer. We're united, and we're going to fight for our heritage and for our culture. Enjoy the day. Thank you.
I'm just going to echo the words that John said. You know, Columbus Day, I got to remind everybody, is a federal holiday. So until the federal government says different, it will always be Columbus Day. And in New York, I'm so proud to march in New York. You know, we're the best tag team going right now, John and I. And John is relentless in the state of New York. I'm so proud that he's on the national level. And you know, we're fighting this battle across the entire country. This isn't only in New York. This is happening in every state. And we are constantly battling it. And we've been